On a rainy night in Willow Bay, Lucas finds Clara passed out by the sea. She whispers, "Don't let them get me," stirring his lonely heart. A strange locket hints at secrets, but her quiet strength draws him in, starting a love that could save them, or cost everything. Before watching full video, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Lucas Harper, 38, was a rich architect who built eco-friendly homes. His designs were famous, but his heart felt empty. A past betrayal left him afraid to trust or love. He lived alone in Willow Bay, Oregon, where the sea whispered secrets. One stormy evening, Lucas walked along the cliffs to calm his mind after a tough business meeting. Rain poured and waves crashed below. As he neared the beach, he saw something, a young woman lying still on the sand. She looked about 29, soaked and pale, with a backpack nearby. His heart raced. Was she hurt? Alive? He knelt beside her, checking her pulse. She stirred, her voice weak. "Don't let them take me," she whispered, then fell quiet. Lucas didn't know who they were, but her fear felt real. Without thinking, he scooped her into his arms. She was light, her wet hair sticking to her face. He carried her to his seaside cottage, his shoes heavy with sand. Inside, he laid her on a couch and called his friend, Dr. Emily Carter. "Come quick, Emily. It's urgent," he said. While waiting, he wrapped a blanket around the woman. Her hands were cold, her breathing shallow. Then he noticed something, a locket around her neck. It had a symbol, a crescent moon with a star. It looked familiar, like something from a memory he couldn't grab. His mind spun. Where had he seen it before? The woman's words echoed in his head, "Don't let them take me." Who was she running from? Why was she here, alone in the storm? Lucas stared at her pale face, wondering if helping her was a mistake. But something in her quiet breathing told him to stay. Outside, the rain kept falling, hiding answers in the dark. For now, all he could do was wait. Lucas's seaside cottage felt different with her in it. The storm had passed, but a quiet tension lingered. Dr. Emily had checked the woman, tired, bruised, needing rest. Lucas let her stay in his guest room, though his heart wrestled. Was she running from danger? Or was she the danger? He couldn't tell, but her whispered fear stuck with him. When she woke, sunlight spilled through the window. She blinked, confused, her eyes scanning the unfamiliar room. "Where am I?" she asked softly. Lucas stood at the door, unsure. "My home." "You're safe," he said. She nodded, her voice small. "Oh, Claire. That's all I know." Her hands trembled, clutching the blanket like it could hold her together. Something in her gaze, lost yet warm, made Lucas pause. His housekeeper, Mrs. Nora, brought tea and smiled at Clara. "You're a kind soul, I can tell," Nora said. Clara's lips curved, shy but real. Lucas watched, feeling a tug he didn't expect. He offered her clothes, food, a place to stay. "Rest here," he said, though his mind whispered caution. Clara thanked him, her eyes saying more than words. Days passed. Clara moved quietly, like she didn't want to take up space. She dusted books in Lucas's library, her fingers gentle on old covers. Once she hummed a tune, soft and sad, stopping when she saw him. "Sorry," she mumbled. "It's nice," Lucas said, surprised by his own softness. They shared small moments, her passing him coffee, him showing her the ocean view. Each one felt like a step closer, though neither said it. Clara never spoke of her past, but fear flickered when a car horn blared outside. Lucas noticed, his chest tightening. "Who hurt you?" He wanted to ask. Instead, he stayed near, guarding her silence, feeling alive in a way he hadn't in years. The locket around Clara's neck haunted Lucas. Its crescent moon and star sparked a memory, Meridian Designs, a crooked architecture firm he'd clashed with years ago. They'd cheated workers, ruined lives. Was Clara tied to them? The thought twisted in his gut, but her soft smile made him question his doubts. Clara seemed lost in her own world. One morning, Lucas found her on the porch, sketching in a small notebook. Her pencil traced a jagged city skyline, a man's angry face, blurred but sharp with menace. She snapped the book shut when she saw him, her cheeks pale. "Just pictures in my head," she said quietly. Lucas nodded, but curiosity burned. What was she running from? Their days grew warmer, softer. In the kitchen, Clara chopped vegetables while Lucas stirred soup, their laughter filling the air when he spilled broth. On a beach walk, she picked up a shell, her eyes bright. "It's perfect," she said, handing it to him. His fingers brushed hers and his heart stirred, a feeling he'd locked away after old hurts. But trust? That was harder. Meridian's shadow lingered in his mind. One evening, Lucas spotted a man near the cottage, camera in hand, staring too long. Clara saw him to and froze, ducking behind the curtains. Her breath came fast, eyes wide with panic. "He's one of them," she whispered, gripping Lucas's arm. "Who?" he asked, but she shook her head, trembling. Lucas pulled her close, his voice steady. "No one's getting in." The man vanished into the dusk, but the air felt heavy. Later, by the fire, Clara sat silent, hugging her knees. Lucas wanted answers but saw her fear. Instead, he offered her a blanket, their hands touching briefly. Her eyes met his, grateful, searching. He felt a pull like the tide outside. Someone was hunting her, and he'd protect her, even if his heart wasn't sure why. Lucas couldn't shake the locket symbol. It gnawed at him, whispering of Meridian Designs, a firm he despised for their dirty tricks. Late one night, he called an old friend, Tom, who knew Meridian's secrets. Tom's voice dropped low. "That sounds like Clara Evans. She was their project manager, smart, honest. She asked too many questions about their fake eco-builds and disappeared. People said she was in trouble." Lucas's heart sank. Clara in danger? He needed to know more. The next morning he found Clara in the garden, her hands in the soil, planting herbs. Her calm broke when he said, "Clara, we need to talk." His voice was gentle but firm. "I think you're Clara Evans. From Meridian." Her eyes widened then fell. She nodded slowly, her voice barely a whisper. "I worked for them. I believed in their green projects, until I saw the truth. They lied, cheated, hurt people. I found proof, emails, budgets, on a USB. When I took it, they came after me. I ran to save myself." Her hands shook, and Lucas felt her fear like it was his own. He wanted to help, but Meridian's shadow loomed large. They'd undercut his deals, spread lies about his work. Helping Clara could drag him into their mess. She saw his hesitation and stepped back, eyes glossy. "I never meant to pull you down with me," she said, voice cracking. "You've been kind. I should go." The words hit Lucas hard. He thought of his lonely years, his walls of distrust. Then he looked at her, brave, broken, real. "No," he said, stepping closer. "You're not facing this alone." His voice was steady, sure. "We'll stop them together." Clara's tears fell, but she nodded, a spark of hope in her eyes. In that quiet garden they made a silent vow, to fight, to trust, to hold on, no matter what came next. Clara's past exploded into the open when Victor Kane, Meridian's slick CEO, appeared on TV. His cold smile hid lies as he called Clara a thief who stole secrets to ruin him. "She's using Lucas Harper for her own game," he sneered. News headlines screamed, "Traitor hides in architect's home." Lucas's name, once respected, became gossip. His phone buzzed with angry messages, his reputation cracking like glass. At his cottage, Lucas faced his investors on a tense call. "Cut her loose," they demanded. "She's poison to your brand." Lucas's jaw tightened. He thought of Clara's quiet strength, her trembling hands when she spoke of truth. "No," he said, voice firm. "I'm stepping back from the coastal project. Do what you want." He hung up, knowing he'd just risked his career, his dream. But Clara's safety felt bigger. Clara meanwhile made a bold move. She sat at Lucas's desk, hands steady, and emailed the USB's files, proof of Meridian's lies, to a journalist she trusted. By morning the story broke, Meridian's eco-scam exposed. Victor's empire shook as investigators knocked. But Clara felt raw like an open wound. Her name was everywhere, her face on screens, her fear alive again. That night she packed her bag, tears falling. She found Lucas by the fire and whispered, "I have to go. You've lost too much because of me." Her voice broke, heavy with guilt. Lucas stood, eyes fierce with feeling. He grabbed her hand, pulling her close. "Clara, listen," he said, voice low. "My work, my name, they don't matter if you're not here. You're the only thing I want to hold on to." Her breath caught, tears spilling as she saw his heart, bare and true. They stood there, wrapped in each other, the world's noise fading. Clara nodded, staying, her fear easing in his arms. Outside, the sea roared, but inside they were steady, together, unbreakable, ready for whatever came next. Lucas and Clara left the chaos behind, moving to a cozy cabin Lucas had built deep in Oregon's woods. Tall pines hugged their new home, where life felt slow and real. They woke to birdsong, shared coffee on a creaky porch, and let silence mend their hearts. No cameras, no headlines, just them learning to trust again. Clara's laughter, once rare, now filled the air, and Lucas felt his old wounds soften. Clara found purpose in the quiet. Inspired by Lucas's love for green designs, she invited locals to the cabin, teaching them how to build homes that honored the earth. She spoke simply, her hands gesturing as she shared tips on solar panels and recycled wood. But it was her story, running from lies, finding courage, that touched them most. A shy woman, Sarah, hugged Clara after one talk, whispering, "You make me believe I can start over." Clara's eyes shone, her past no longer a shadow but a light for others. One clear night, under a sky bursting with stars, Lucas took Clara's hand. They sat by a crackling fire, the world far away. He looked at her, his voice soft but sure. "Clara, I was lost before you, chasing plans not dreams. You showed me what matters." He pulled out a small ring carved from driftwood. "Marry me?" Clara's tears fell, her smile bright. "Yes," she whispered, and they held each other, the stars their only witness. Clara started writing, pouring her heart into a blog called Truth in Time. She wrote of fear, love, and rebuilding, her words reaching strangers far away. Letters arrived, notes from people who felt seen, who called her brave. "You're not your mistakes," one read, and Clara smiled, free at last. With Lucas by her side, she wasn't just healing, she was home, her heart full, her life woven with hope and love that grew stronger every day. A year later, Willow Bay sparkled under a soft summer sun. Lucas and Clara stood hand in hand, now husband and wife, their faces bright with quiet joy. They'd built something special, a small eco-retreat called Haven House, tucked between cliffs and whispering pines. It was a place for people carrying heavy pasts, a sanctuary to breathe and heal. Clara, her belly gently round with their unborn child, glowed like the dawn. Her smile welcomed their first guests, a group of women with shy eyes but hopeful hearts. The retreat hummed with life. Lucas showed guests the solar panels he'd designed, his voice warm with pride. Clara led them to a garden, sharing how planting seeds felt like planting trust. One guest, a young woman named Lily, clutched Clara's hand, saying, "You make me feel I'm enough." Clara's eyes shimmered, she knew that feeling well. Together, she and Lucas had turned their pain into a place of peace. By the sea, they built a driftwood bench, weathered and strong. On it, they carved their initials, L&C, beside words etched deep, "Met in the rain, held in the light." Lucas traced the letters, his arm around Clara. "This is us," he said softly. She leaned into him, her heart full. "It's more than I ever dreamed," she replied. The waves rolled gently as if agreeing. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky gold, Clara stood on the shore, her voice a gentle whisper in the breeze. "Life didn't give us perfect," she said, her words carrying over Willow Bay. "It gave us storms, scars, and each other. That's all we needed." The camera swept over the retreat, the bench, the sea, catching Lucas's proud smile as he watched her. Haven House wasn't just a place, it was their promise. Love didn't need riches or flawless days. It grew strongest when two hearts chose to stay, to build, to love through everything. And that was enough.